Hey guys, it is Tuesday here in West Virginia, so we're going to do a Truckin' Tuesday video for you guys. And what we're doing today is we are going to take two M2 trucks and make one. Actually, two. One we're just not going to finish today. One we are going to finish. The two I'm talking about is this yellow Stepside and the purple Power Wagon. I had two auto hauler sets and I parted them out, but I decided to keep the truck because I always can use extra wheels and tires. As we've seen with the Christmas ornaments, I swapped the wheels and tires out on them, or just do a base swap on them. So that's why I held on to him, and then I started thinking, well, I have an extra yellow Stepside, and they have not made a four-wheel drive Stepside yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the base off the Power Wagon and put it under this guy and see how it looks as a four-wheel drive, and we'll throw this base in underneath the Power Wagon for right now. I'm not sure what is going to become of the Power Wagon eventually. And maybe it will become a lowrider type truck with the slam chassis. I'm not sure. But I do know I want a four-wheel drive Stepside. So to do that, basically it's very simple. We just take the bases off of each truck and swap them around. Now, I am going to go just a little bit further with the swap. I'm going to take the roll bar out of the Power Wagon and take the brush guard off of the Power Wagon, and oops, there goes a screw, and then put them on this guy, because with a two-wheel drive chassis on the Power Wagon, it's just not going to look right with a brush guard and roll cage in it. So we're going to take those off. I'm not really going to add the hitch onto it. Actually, to be honest with you guys, a lot of my four-wheel drives or vehicles that I take from the auto hauler sets, I remove the hitch. Because usually I don't have them towing much. Sometimes I leave them on there. It just depends, I guess, on the vehicle. And then have them tow a race car, something like that. But most of the time, unless it's left in the auto hauler setup, then I usually just take the hitch off of them. So that was the front screw. Let's jump off camera there. Alright, let me see about getting the base off of this guy. This is being a little bugger here. Huh. Well. Oh, that's weird. I don't see anything else. I can move the bed up, but it's like the chassis is stuck, glued or something. I'm not sure what they got going on here. Well, there we go. The back is lifting out. It almost feels like there's a screw in the center, but I know there's not. Huh. Sorry guys, I gotta pull it off the screen for a second and see if I can wiggle this loose here. That's something I have not run into before. Usually these chassis just fall right off, but this one is like wedged on there. So give me just a minute and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. That's the first time I ever ran into that. It just was stuck on there really, really good. I've never had to force one off like that. But as you can see, the brush guard stayed on the chassis. It wasn't attached. I figured it was attached to the chassis, but I figured it would come off, like unglued or something. So that's cool. It stayed on there. It's one less thing I got to pull off and swap around. The hitch also did not come off. I figured it would fall off too, but hey, that's okay. So basically now what we're going to do is just take the yellow body and drop it down on the lifted chassis, and that looks pretty cool. Got your brush guard there and such, and looks really cool. So let me, and brush guard's broken a little bit, but it's okay. It's a cracked center bar. Probably did that while I was taking it apart. I got it lined back up a little bit. So yeah, it's an off-road truck, so it's going to get some damage occasionally. So anyways, another thing that would be cool is to take it one step further and actually swap the chrome bumpers and such around for the black bumpers. As you can see, the chrome bumper is still attached to the base of this guy, so might as well take the black bumpers off of the Power Wagon and put on this guy. So what we're gonna do is just try to finagle the bumpers off, which that was quite easy. There's the front one, and then the rear one also should be fairly easy to get off. I figured these would have been without the nipples on them. I figured it would have slid onto the exhaust tips, but that's right, the exhaust tips on the four-wheel drive drop down below the bumper. Man, that bumper is really on there. Well, for now, we'll just try to do the cage and see what happens with this roll cage. Everything on this truck is on there really good. So, yeah, much better than I thought it would be. Let's see about the grill. I don't want to break anything, so open the hood. Well, now these are a little different than the square bodies. You see the bed is riveted onto the cab by these ears now. I just noticed that. I was going to try to work the bed off, but it's not workable. And so, anyways, we're going to try to get these parts off here. So, we're just going to work on this for a little bit, and then I'll come back as soon as we get these parts off and do the swap around here. Because I'm going to have to go get some other tools to get the rear bumper off. Oh, that's really some good glue that they use. Okay, guys, we're back again. Sorry about that. I was wanting to show you like how this stuff pulls off fairly easy, but the Power Wagon was a bear to get everything off. This one here just simply came apart the way that it should. Usually you just like pull at the grill and it'll pop right out. Same thing with the bumper, but you usually want to try to work like not just on the end, because sometimes you'll crack it right in half if it's glued pretty good. So try to work from one end and work over, and then pry from the center if all possible. The roll cage, however, that was not easy either. A little piece of it has broken. I'll have to fix it later, but for the most part, you just kind of get it and pull on it with a pair of needle nose on one bar at a time and try to pry it out, but it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. So as you can see, it's going to sit in here. It's going to be a little bit of a tight fit, but they've made it where everything should fit universally. So just a couple little dabs of glue and such, and it should be okay. If anything, I may have to remove the rear bars and kind of just make it like a light bar. I'm not sure on that. Just seeing how it looks. It's just going to take a little bit of work to get it to glue back on, and then find the other little tiny piece and glue it on there. So some of this I'll have to do off camera too and come back and show you a bit later of our progress and such. If I can even find that little piece, I'm not sure about that either. So we'll try our best and try to get it back. But the grill and stuff came right out. So this is also going to alter the years of the vehicles, I guess, too. So anyways, yeah, you're gonna go right on like that. Just add some glue, and then, well, you'll be done. Same thing with your front bumper. Let's see, that would be, yeah, it was this guy here, I believe. And basically, just get your glue and such, and we'll do that off camera too. I'm just showing you the mock-up a little bit what we're gonna do, and then this is going to be a little bit different too, because this bumper kind of slides on the little nipples. They have two different bumpers, one for the slammed and lifted trucks, and one, well, actually the slammed uses this too, because the slammed tailpipes go through the rear roll pan and such. The drop trucks, though, as you get, or the lifted trucks, I'm sorry, have drop down exhaust tips. So the bumpers on them have the nipples that slide in the holes. So it's a little bit different, but you can get it to work. Just a little more of a process, but it's not that bad. So anyways, we'll get some stuff taken care of, and then I will be back with the semi-finished product for you. Okay, guys, we're back, and the yellow one is pretty much assembled. And you see me take it apart, and some of the problems I ran into with the purple one being disassembled. This is pretty much what you're going to get as a finished product. Looks pretty good. The only problems that I had is mounting the rear bumper, because there's nothing sticking out the back, like the tips, to mount the bumper on, like this here. The two-wheel drive and the drop chassis have these little tips here that go through the rear roll pan. And then your bumper has female ends that slide onto these. Kind of just locks it right in place. And, well, this didn't have it anymore because we had the four-wheel drive chassis. And as you can see, the four-wheel drive chassis exhaust tips drop down to go under the bumper. So there was absolutely, like, nothing there to mount it to. So what I had to do to put the black bumper on, or any bumper for that matter, I had to put just a little bit of glue on the edge under the tailgate and just kind of glue the lip of the bumper on there. So it's there. It's on there good. Another issue, because the cage was mounted so securely in here, whatever glue they used on this purple one was really good glue, because it did not stay that good. So the cage is at a little bit of a bind in the Stepside, because it is made to be universal to fit in Stepsides and fleet sides, but it is a tight fit, so it kind of tweaks it a little bit at an angle. And because I didn't have the whole barbic here, it didn't kind of straighten it out. I got it as straight as I possibly could. Then I just took a dab of glue, put on the piece that's broken, and put in the hole to kind of help line it up. But there was another little tiny piece that broke off. As you can see, it looks a little thin in that area, and I got glue everywhere. The super glue blew up. Luckily, it didn't get on anything else. Well, there goes my rear bumper. Anyways, as I said, they're a little hard to put the rear bumper on. So, yeah, the rear bumper may not go back on. It doesn't look that bad without one. Or I may try something a little different. Maybe put glue on top of the exhaust tips and just kind of set this on top of the tips. We'll see how that goes later on. And then you have your grill and the brush guard. As I said, the brush guard stayed on the chassis. That was pretty good. I pulled the hitch off and such, and it actually doesn't look that bad without a rear bumper on it. So it may stay just like that. Now for the two-wheel drive chassis, to work on the purple one, and no matter what, I'm going to put a two-wheel drive or slam chassis on this, and it will have to go through the rear holes. And as you can see, this one has the nipples in it still from that bumper, and they're in there very good. I need to get a small punch, or what I can do, and it's not really going to matter because the bumper that I'm using is going to have to be glued on anyways because it was made for ones that had the female ends. Actually, if I could get these to go through, it would work out okay, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that or not. I'll see what I can do if I need a small punch to push those through, and if I can't, then I will just take a pair of small snips, like so, and cut these off, and then it will be fine. And then the grill and all of that will go back in here, but it will be a chrome later model grill, as this one I think was a 74 to start with, and the one that this grill came out of I think is a 78. And as you can see, the nipples for the grill are still in this one. As I said, the glue on this one was very strong, whatever they used, but the glue on the yellow one is like usual. The stuff kind of just pops right off very easily. So the purple one's where I ran into my problems, and then the stupid super glue exploded. The tube, I had to poke a hole in it because the tip wouldn't unscrew. It was glued on after taking it on and off so many times and using it. The tip stuck on, and so I poked a hole in the side of the tube, and I guess there was pressure in there because when it opened, it shot glue everywhere. Luckily on nothing expensive or anything like that in the house, so it just got all over my arm, and that's pretty much it. But anyways, yeah, so that's the Stepside 4-wheel drive. That's the one that I was going after to finish today. To tell you the truth, the plans with the purple one is basically to get the lower chassis. I was bidding on another Midnight Express. I was hoping to get it so I could get the chassis from it and put a 2-wheel drive standard chassis in under the Midnight Express and make a regular Midnight Express stock one to go with the stock Little Red Express. I think that would look really cool. So unfortunately I did not get it for what I wanted to pay, so I'll just keep hunting and try to find a drop chassis, because what I'm going to do is use the Pro Street wheels from M2's cars, something like the 57 Chevy there, right here with the skinnies and the fats on the drop chassis, make a Pro Street truck, and then I want to cut out the engine compartment from this Volvo and take the hood off the purple, and actually leave the hood off and put this engine inside the engine bay. I think it will work pretty good. The dimensions look pretty similar, and this hood's got paint flaws on it anyway, so it won't be missed. And then that should make a really nice Pro Street truck, and then it won't have any more black. It'll have the chrome grill, chrome front and rear bumpers, slammed on the ground with big slicks or Mickey Thompsons under it, some skinnies in the front with a big blower sticking out of the engine bay. So I think that will look pretty cool, and the purple and black paint with the SRT looks pretty good. Will look good on it. I just wish it didn't have that paint flaw on it, but hey, I can live with it. So that's the intentions for the purple one. So this chassis here, that's why I just didn't go snip on the back here, because I wanted to use a different chassis on this one. So basically these are pieces are just going to go into pieces parts thing over on the shelf, and then once we get the right chassis and right wheels and tires from M2, then we will bring everything back out and build you guys a Pro Street Gen 1 Dodge pickup. And then that's pretty much it for today, guys. And then there's your Stepside 4-wheel drive. As I said, the back bumper is going to be your biggest problem getting it mounted, but I may just leave mine off. It looks pretty good without it, I would say, in my opinion. So guys, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you on Free It Friday.